So this is something a little bit different. Over the years, a lot of people ask how I do these wooden top pedals, and honestly, the whole thing happened completely by accident. Now, originally I was laser etching along with printing graphics onto vinyl for pedals, amp builds, along with all sorts of other custom gear. And one day I tried feeding a piece of wood veneer through the printer just to see what would happen. And I was pretty surprised that it actually worked. So over time, I kind of developed a whole system around it. Now, this isn't going to be an intense tutorial because there are heaps of little details involved, but I thought it would be cool to show you the basic process while I build a custom pedal, just so you can have a crack for yourself at home. Okay, so first thing is choosing the veneer itself. Now, some woods work great and others don't work so well. Now, if the grain is too deep or textured, the print just doesn't come out cleanly. So once I've picked the veneer, I sand it flat using 400 grit on a piece of glass just to knock down those high spots. And then I clean everything down with isopropyl alcohol before applying ultra strong 3M VHB double-sided adhesive to the back. Now, this stuff is crazy sticky. After that, I rough cut the veneer to size and start working on the graphic design. So here's the design that Damo sent me through. That's who I'm building the pedal for, and I'll put some links down in the description if you want to check out his music. Now, you can design your own, or you can use enclosure templates so that all the knobs and switches actually line up properly. In this case, I'm working with a pre-drilled enclosure, which makes things a little trickier. But normally, if you're drilling the pedal afterwards, it's way easier. And then comes the weird part. I print the design using an old mono laser printer. This does not work if you're using an inkjet printer, by the way. It has to be a laser. Now, first I print the design onto a normal sheet of paper. Then I tape the veneer directly over that print so I know it's going to print in the exact same position. Now, it looks unbelievably sketchy feeding wood through a printer, but it works surprisingly well. You do need a straight feed printer though, so the veneer passes straight through without bending. Now, once the print is finished, I lightly seal it with poly spray first. I actually went a little bit nuts with the poly spray. Just a light coating is all you need. Now, if you don't do this, the toner can smear off or lift when you start finishing over the top of it. After that, I build up with a few coats of True Oil, which I absolutely love, by the way. Now, if you don't know what True Oil is, it's more of a varnish than an oil, and it's pretty much impossible to mess up. It's super forgiving. I finish guitars with it all the time, and I love how this stuff feels. Then the veneer gets mounted onto the enclosure and carefully trimmed around the edges using a blade. And after sanding those edges and beveling them just slightly, I add a few more coats of True Oil, drill out the holes, True Oil again, and then once it's dry, I finish everything off using synthetic steel wool to get that sort of soft satin finish. Now, I personally prefer satin over gloss for these builds. It just feels way more like natural wood to me. From here, you just treat it like a normal enclosure. Load in all your pots, your switches, your jacks. I'm using a board here from Pedal PCB. They make awesome boards. Go over and check out their website. I've got a link down in the description. It's basically like a smorgasbord for pedal builders. It's awesome. And here's the finished result. So what started out as a random experiment years ago has ended up on pedals, amps, custom switches, workshop signage, and all sorts of stuff. And the cool thing is it actually lasts really well too. There are pedals out there that I built over 15 years ago using the same method that are still being gigged and still look great. So hopefully you found that interesting, and maybe it gave you a few ideas for your own builds as well.